Hi, good afternoon, Jo. Welcome to the Crystal Cabin. Lovely to see you on this not so sunny day. It's ever so windy in here today. I really enjoyed listening to you on the Wellbeing Weekend in the Mothership. So I'm very excited to be talking to you today and learning about your business and how you make people happy. So do you want to introduce yourself? Who's Jo and what makes Jo happy?
I'd love to. I'm Jo Howarth and I run a company called the Happiness Club, and I teach people how to be happier, calmer, more balanced, more comfortable in their own lives, in their own skins. I believe that happiness is the most important thing in life, bar none. Bar none.
Yeah,
Whatever the thing is, whatever you want, whatever you haven't got, what you want in the having of that thing is happiness, which makes it the most important thing in life.
fabulous.
Um, and I make me happy.
Oh,
Well, that's one of the things that I talk about, is that I can't make anyone else happy, and nobody else can make me happy. I could experience the exact same thing as someone else and be miserable about it. I
yeah.
could experience the exact same thing as someone else and be happy about it. It's me inside me that makes me happy.
Absolutely. So that's what makes you happy. So a little bit about you. You've got a couple of kiddies. How have you found that during COVID?
I do. I have a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old,
Ah,
both girls, and they have largely, well, my 12-year-old has largely hibernated.
oh,
She has become nocturnal, so
oh,
it's lunchtime on a Friday. She's still in bed at the moment.
oh,
She's getting into that teenage thing.
yeah.
My 10-year-old, yeah, she's coped quite well. She's kept her little routine together. She's one of the most capable, not just the most capable child, but the most capable person I think I've
Wow.
ever met in my life. Yeah, bless her.
Yeah.
So she's kept her routine up and kept herself busy and had lots of relaxation time too. And I have absolutely loved. I don't want them to go back to school
No.
ever.
Oh, so you've
So
enjoyed all being together.
yeah, I mean, it's had
Yeah,
its challenges.
of course.
It's
Yeah,
also
two girls close together in age. Absolutely.
my husband and I, and all four of us in the house all the time. So it's been challenging, but I don't want them to go back to school.
Oh, bless. That's lovely. And have you managed to stay working, Jo, while we've been in lockdown?
On and off, I would say. Yeah, mostly. My business took a massive hit because the biggest part of my income is in training and speaking. I'm a speaker at events. And obviously, all of that just went bye.
Oh,
So
and yeah.
just disappeared. So it's been, but again, I think that's part of the beauty of this time, is that what it's done is challenge me to really focus on how to get other income in and what I actually want to do. And it's made me focus in on loads of different aspects of my business, stop paying for things that aren't necessary anymore, and loads of things that we should really be doing all the time and none of us get the time to.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good time for reflection. The gift of time, I would say. Absolutely. So, a little bit then, when talking about your business, let's talk about your background. How long have you been in business? Where did it come from? What did you used to do? Let's talk about that.
Okay, so my business will be 9 years old in September.
Wow.
I know, that's what
Amazing.
happens. Yeah, that's what happens in my head too when I say that, because I feel like I've been in business a couple of years. But yeah,
Wow.
9 years, and I I used to be, when I was a grown up, I used to be a corporate event manager. So I used to organise conferences and dinners, award dinners and exhibitions and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Um, and I experienced massive levels of stress in that job. It's a very stressful job.
Mhm.
Looks glamorous, isn't at all.
Oh,
Um, and I had always experienced high levels of anxiety
okay.
in my personal life. So that, coupled with the stress of the job, just didn't do me any favors whatsoever. Um, and then I got pregnant with my first daughter,
Okay.
and I took maternity leave, and I took my full year, and I did not want to go back. I
No,
did
it's
not.
lovely, isn't it? Yeah.
I just was nah. And and I made the decision not to.
Fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah,
turning point. Yeah.
it was huge for me. And then I had my second daughter, and and loved it, but went a bit doolally at the same time.
Close together.
Yeah, and I mean, I was, my eldest daughter was barely 1 when I got pregnant with my second daughter.
Oh wow, yeah.
Like, oh my god! And then I had two, like a toddler, like a barely 2-year-old, and a baby.
Wow.
And how the hell are you supposed to? Nobody tells you how to do any of
No,
that.
no.
So I did go a little bit doolally for about 6 months. I genuinely can't remember the first 6 months of my youngest daughter's life at
Oh,
all.
wow. Yeah.
And so I knew that I needed to do something for me, because I'd been, not a high flying career woman, but I'd had a career.
Yeah.
And I used my brain every day, and so I knew that I needed to do something. And also, because I was struggling mentally with having 2 children and all the different things, and always having anxiety and all of that, I ended up back in my hypnotherapist's chair when my eldest daughter was about 4.
Okay.
And it was as a result of going back for those sessions to sort out the, trying not to swear, the crap that had come up from having children from my childhood, the crap that had sort of revisited me from my childhood. And I went back to have hypnotherapy, which I'd had on and off over the years, to sort that out, because I wanted to be the best mummy I could be.
Of course, yeah.
Like, just the most important thing in the world. And then going back for those sessions then led my hypnotherapist, who I'd known by that point, I'd known him for, crikey, 15 years, 14 years. And he said to me, so, have you ever thought about doing this?
Oh, wow.
And I was like, do you know what? I'd love to. I think this would be amazing. He said, I've been waiting about 10 years for you to tell me that you're ready.
Oh.
Okay, you could have told me sooner.
Yeah. Saved you some money.
Yeah, bloody 10 years. That's a long time. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I started training to become a hypnotherapist, and that's how the whole thing started. And obviously, Fantastic. It was something that then I could build around the girls as they got older, and so they used to go to nursery like a day and a half a week. Oh. So that was my working time, and the rest of the time I was mummy. And then as they got older and started going to school and started going to nursery a bit more and blah blah, so it's been, I think that's one of the reasons why I can't believe it's been 9 years, because it's been so gradual, so slow, if you like, to grow my business, because my priority was my family every single time.
Well, we're all individuals who do what's right for us, and that's obviously been absolutely perfect for you and your circumstances. And it's actually a lovely story as well, to come from the corporate world into motherhood, and then gradually into your business.
That's it. I'm very fortunate. I do know that I'm very fortunate. Obviously both my girls have friends, and I get to know their mums, and the number of mums that feel forced to go back, that have no choice, that have to go back to work, that if they didn't go back to work they would lose their house, or what. It's like, so I know that I'm very fortunate to have been able to make the decisions that I did.
Great.
Yeah.
So what does the business look like today then? How that was a slow start, a gradual progression, but in 9 years, wow, you must have so many stories to tell, so many different sort of successes and learning curves, and self-employment's like a roller coaster. I'm only 4 years in, so come on, tell us a little bit more.
Well, yeah, so yeah, I think the thing that pops into my head first is the idea of evolve. I mean, my company now is completely different to the company I set up 9 years ago. It looks nothing like the company I set up. I set the company up initially while I was still training to become a hypnotherapist. I set the company up to run events, because that's what I knew about stress in the workplace. And that was what the company did for the first year of its life. And I never had so many doors slammed in my face, because
Wow.
9 years ago, nobody gave a monkeys about
No.
stress in the workplace. Let me tell you. Very few people gave a monkeys about stress in the workplace back then. And then I qualified as a hypnotherapist. So then I ditched that, doing the events, and became a jobbing hypnotherapist. So that was the next 3 years or so, 3 or 4 years. And then gradually over the last 4 years or so, I've stepped back from doing that. I still work with people on a one-to-one basis, but I don't promote it because it's not where I'm moving, if that makes sense. But if someone says to me, Jo, and this hurts and I really need it, then I'm the soft touch. So so yeah, but then I gradually started moving into running workshops for businesses. So instead of trying to get them to come to an event, getting them to book me to come into their company. And then 5 years ago, I basically, when I was working on a one-to-one basis, I kept having conversations with people who really needed help but couldn't afford it. And I wasn't charging anywhere near what I charge now for one-to-one. But just couldn't afford, had anxiety, had depression, had stress, but really couldn't have given me 50 quid for a session, let alone for a series of sessions, which broke my heart. And obviously I've always done a certain amount of pro bono work, always, because it breaks my heart that money would be the only thing that stops somebody. But obviously I'm running a business, so I can't do anything for free, because then I can't eat and my kids can't eat. And I was also getting a lot of inquiries from people that lived 200 miles away. And at the time, I'm not massively technical now, but I was even less technical then. And at the time, I couldn't work out how I could do an online session with hypnotherapy. I do it all the time now. I couldn't get my head around it at that time. And so I wanted to find a way to be able to help those two sets of people. So make what I did affordable, accessible, open, and just there. And all of that sort of exploded in my head one day about 5.5 years ago. And I can remember lying on the sofa watching TV with my husband one evening, and I just suddenly sat bolt upright and went, "Oh my God, it's a club! Oh my God, it's a club!" The Happiness Club was born.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and so it's completely online. We've been going for just over 5 years. It's completely online. The members receive a daily strategy through the app or through email from me or a member of the team, because I have a team now, which is amazing, with something for them to use that day, something for them to hold on to that day, something for them to think about or implement. So it might be, so at the same time as training as a hypnotherapist, I was also training in mindfulness. So I'm a mindfulness practitioner as well. So it might be a straightforward mindfulness technique. It might be a story about my life that's given me some kind of insight, some kind of learning. My girls feature in it massively because they've taught me more than anybody else in my entire life. And so, yes, it's something every single day to keep this and this where they want it to be.
That's lovely.
Stumbling through life, which is what I was doing, which is what I used to do. And then we run live webinars every month, and they also then get 24/7 access to me or a member of the team who are qualified counsellors and therapists. Not for full-blown therapy, but so I've talked people through panic attacks at 10 o'clock on a Sunday evening, and work stress at 10 o'clock on a Friday morning, and relationship issues at 2 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon. And they can contact us by phone, by email, by messenger, by WhatsApp, however it works for them. So they can be at work in the middle of the stressful situation and be messaging me or one of the team, who can be advising them and helping them, take some deep breaths. Have you thought about it like this? Could you try that while this is happening? That, and for me, the club is, and I always describe, I'm a big hugger.
Yeah, me too.
So for me, that's what the club is. The club is me putting my arms around every single member every single day, saying, "It's all right. I've got you. Think about it like this. Try thinking this. Try this. Do this. Have a go at looking at it like this. It's just because that, for me, that's what was missing when I was having my therapy.
Yeah.
I've known my therapist for years, and he's a friend, and he's adopted granddad to my 2 children. He's amazing. But when I started therapy, I used to get this hour and a half once a week with this amazing person who could help me see things differently and made me feel better. And then I'd have to go out back into my real world for a whole week before I got that hour again. And I really struggled a lot with that a lot of the time. And again, that's why the club was born.
Yeah.
Because it's somebody every single day saying, it's okay.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. Have a go at this. So that's it. So
that's beautiful.
I've answered the question that you actually answered.
You have, and your energy is so calm and so, yeah, really soft and calming. It's lovely. And when you talk about that hug, for me, I work with angels. So for me, it's angel wings being wrapped around. And as you were talking like that, I felt really protected, picking up on your energy. Is lovely. Your business has evolved over time, and you're obviously at a place now where you're really happy with what you've achieved. Yeah, and you can
there's always more.
Yeah.
I think that's part and parcel of being self-employed, isn't it? That entrepreneur thing.
Absolutely, yeah. It can be quite lonely at times, can't it? Well, yeah.
Which is why the networking thing is such a boon. It's such a gorgeous thing to have.
Absolutely.
And again, for me, because I've been, I've still got levels to go up to, but I've been that mum that was just starting out, that could only work, I remember begging one of my friends to have the girls for an hour so that I could see a hypnotherapy client, because she couldn't do any time on the day and a half that the girls were in nursery. So I was like, please, can you have them just for an hour so I can see this client so that I could make 50 quid? Do you know what I mean? I've been at that end of business, and I'm nowhere near where I want to be yet, but I'm a long way off that now. And so I think that's the beauty of networking, is that you get to meet. I've been inspired by people who are 5 steps ahead of me, and I've been able to help people who are 5 steps behind me.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of networking.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the beauty of life experience as well. Yeah, there's so many transferable skills coming from your corporate background, coming into being self-employed, that are so valuable. When you're in your corporate world, you're so used to having different departments pick up the phone, the things that you need, and then it becomes all down to you, and that can be really daunting. But the network actually can fill those gaps. There's somebody else that's IT, somebody, and everybody wants to help. It's really good. It's really lovely environment when people get it because they've been there and is happy to help. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest realizations, and it probably only happened for me a couple of years ago, where, because still I am the only person that's employed by the Happiness Club as a company. We're a limited company, and I kept seeing all these things on social media and people talking about their team, and I was thinking, when you have a downer on yourself, and I was thinking, I haven't got a team. Why haven't I got a team? Why haven't I got to that stage in business yet where I can employ people and have a team? And then I stopped and I looked, and I was like, okay, I've got a VA. I've got someone that helps with my IT. I've got someone that helps me with my website. I've got someone who helps me with my sales. I've got a team.
Yeah, great way of looking at that. Absolutely. Yeah. You've got support. You've got a support network in place. Brilliant. The way you talk about your business from the early days through, you were so ahead of your time with, at the beginning, going into workplace for well-being, where you're talking about doors shutting on you. It wasn't sort of key those days, and look at it now. It's it's everywhere, and you've gone from feeling that yourself to being able to offer it, to doors being closed, to being able to embrace with a team so many opportunities for lots of different people. It's a hell of an achievement.
Yeah, I'm trying not to say I'm very proud.
No, say it loud.
this was someone else, I'd be saying, go on, say it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I am proud of what I've built so far. I do have a way to go before I get to where I want to be, but I'm very proud of the decisions I've made and the mistakes I've made as well. I've made a flipping ton of mistakes, man. So many.
Isn't it? Yeah.
But that's, yeah, totally. That's how you grow, and that's how you learn, and that's how you know not to do that thing again, because it doesn't work.
Because that hurt.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's all part and part. Actually, I was thinking just before I was making my cuppa before I came on to chat to you, how much fun it is. It's a pain in the arse a lot of the time, but actually, how fun is it to work out what do I need to do now?
Yeah, especially when it's for you.
Yeah, that's it. How do I get through this bit, and how do I navigate this, and what decision am I going to make, and what's that going to look like? And that to me is like that's what it's all about. It's fun. It's like looking at it like, right, cool, let's have a play.
Yeah. Well, you've also collected so many tools in the box along the way to be able to support people in their mental health and well-being, women in well-being, which is fabulous. Did you train your team, Jo? Have you trained your team to what, it's your business, they are under your umbrella, so they're your ambassadors. So, that's obviously really important to you. How did you go about making sure you had the right people?
So everybody that works with me on a regular basis in that way is that I would say is part of my permanent team, if you like, my regular team. They are all members of the Happiness Club.
I see.
That's part of their contract, if you like, that they get to be a member of the Happiness Club on me, because and a couple of years ago I had the idea of training people up to become Happiness Club trainers, and I couldn't afford to employ them.
Yeah.
But I knew that if I was going to take over the world, which is the ultimate aim,
go for it.
I knew that if that was going to happen, I needed help. There needed to be more of me. And so I started training. I did my first group training program, Train the Trainer, 2 years ago. And so there've been 3 so far. So there's currently 21 Happiness Club trainers across the UK, and 1 in Mexico.
Oh, going global.
The magic of Facebook.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's 21 of us across the country now. And part of me actually felt a bit like I had failed a bit because I couldn't employ them. But actually, as time's gone on, I really love that they're self-employed.
Yeah.
Because it gives them the power, which is what I'm all about, personal responsibility. It gives them the power to build a business that works for them, which is exactly what I've done.
But at the same time, they're part of the club, so you've got 21 happy people in your community supporting each other, supporting other people.
That's it, totally. So it's one of those things that you do that you don't fully realize the implications of, or before it happens. And now, I mean, I just adore that there are other people out there delivering the programs that I devised however many years ago, like that I sat and went, oh, is this good enough, or is this right? And now there's people out there delivering that and getting amazing feedback for themselves.
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous. It's
awesome. I can imagine that. Yeah, I might need to talk to you on a separate note. So I'm building a team. I train Reiki healers, and we go into nursing homes to heal in residential homes. So obviously during COVID that stopped, but I feel that same way of that empowering, because that wasn't for self-employment as well. So we'll come back to that another day. You're quite local, aren't you, Jo? You're Chester.
No, I'm just outside Liverpool. I'm near.
Oh, are you? I thought you were Chester for some reason. Forgive me.
No,
okay.
I'm networking in Chester, but I'm not in Chester.
But you're accessible online, because the whole club is online anyway, so you can cater for anybody. Okay, brilliant. So there's so many, as I said, there's so many different aspects to your tools in the box to help so many women in business. What tips and advice would you like to give anybody that's not had 9 years experience, that are still on the roller coaster, still having those little doubts and not being quite so proud of themselves every day, coming into the new normal?
I think my biggest my biggest tip, if you like, for anyone in business is to not compare yourself. And that's so hard to do. It sounds so easy, but oh my word, it's so hard to do, because actually there's so much BS around, and there's so many people that, you know, will sit there and go, oh yes, I earn £3 billion a second, and then you go, oh, why aren't I earning £3 billion a second? Oh God,
Yeah.
what am I doing wrong? And then you get down on yourself and you go, oh no, I must be doing business completely wrong and getting it all wrong, and I'm rubbish, and actually the person is talking absolute monkeys. So there's an old saying, which is a personal development saying, but I think it applies to business too, which is, you know, don't judge your inside by someone else's outside.
Fabulous.
And I think that, yeah, I love it too. And I think that applies to business. Don't judge your business and where you are at in this journey, because that's trying not to be on the X factor, but it is a journey. And treat it as such, you know, treat it as a journey. This is where you are. In my first year of business, I turned over 1,500 quid in the entire year.
Oh, wow.
And now I'm, you know,
Now you're not.
Yeah, now I run a 6-figure business. So it's step by step, and it's a journey, and don't expect it to all happen overnight. It can do, but don't expect it to all happen overnight. Go at the pace that works for you. It took me way longer to get to 6 figures than it's taken lots of my cohorts and peers, but I'm not them, I'm me.
Yeah, oh lovely. Fabulous advice. We're really blessed to have you in the mothership, having the experience that you've got and the advice that you can bring to everybody. So really blessed to have met you today, Jo. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. I'm sure our paths will cross. I'm living not too far away. A fellow hypnotherapist and healer is we could talk all day, but I know you're very busy and you've got things to do. So we'll let you go. Thank you so much for your time. Most appreciated. Okay, take care.